started. Does anyone want to get out?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Friday Night Frenzy, where Wonder Bad is canon, and the topics, well, they're more like a set of guidelines. Let's bring in our amazing co-host. First, we got the man himself,
Master Chief. You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
What is up?
Well, I'm just Prime.
Oh, that's a little spoiler here for you. Hey, Bubba, what's up? Let me know if you want to come in here, and I'll send you the link. And, yep. And then next up is the frequent co-host herself.
I don't care. I should be.
Oh, how you doing, Nix?
Pretty good.
Awesome. And I don't have an intro for him, but I'll just play this clip.
Hell, it's about time.
I like that. That really works for me.
Hey, Brown Destroyer, how you doing? And Brown Destroyer is actually giving us a little bit of a treat. He's actually doing some coloring for us. He's coloring his comic. So if you like what you see here, going to be posting the link tree now.
Here's Brown. The movie, The Beast Wars, comes out today.
Yes, actually, JD, you've actually seen it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
All right. So before we get into the Beast Wars talk, JD, can you give us like a spoiler-free review? Like no spoilers, but just tell us what you thought of the movie.
Oh, it's pretty good, actually. I kind of like how, it actually links up to the old Transformers movie, wink, wink, in some levels, and to the Unicron saga. And it's like almost all those series for the 2000s and early and the 90s and the 80s, all that mixed together in one awesome package. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I have one. But I have one question for you. This is the most important question.
What is it?
Anyone will ever ask. In the movie, does he say this?
Well, that's just Prime.
Sadly, no. That's sad. Yeah, I was.
Does someone have the touch and have the power?
You got the touch!
That part I did not see, but technically, yeah, that's kind of another sad part about it. But actually, I do like they say all are one in there.
Hey! I dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Is
But
there any Linkin Park? Is there any in Linkin Park?
Nope. Thank God.
What I will.
What?
Oh, yeah.
No offense to
It
anyone.
got a little bit too derivative, Nick. I got to be honest with you. But what I want to say is, what's interesting about, have you noticed that the most recent the most recent Transformers movies like Bumblebee and such and this have made the G1 character designs cool again?
Tell me about it. They've always been cool.
But this proved that you can do the G1 designs and have it look awesome, because that's one of the reasons why they changed them for the Bayverse, because they thought it wasn't hardcore enough. Well, yeah, this looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's like those same people who are like, oh, we need to remodel all these superhero costumes because they'd look stupid in live action, and now look at what we have now.
Yeah.
I know.
Sign these. Looking for yellow.
Yeah, I would have preferred the versions from the Bad and the Sons animation. Bad and the Sons, live action beatdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty awesome.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Okay, I've yelled a little. It's okay. It's okay. But I'd say if we're gonna talk about X-Men costumes, I feel like the best movie costumes are from First Class.
Yes, those are pretty much the Grant Morrison costumes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
For the most part, because the Grant Morrison costumes were actually just leather jackets.
That is true.
yeah, like the in First Class, they pretty much made the suits like flight suits, which is fine. It worked with the story.
Same thing in Apocalypse, though, too. The X suits were essentially modified flight suits.
Yeah, in Apocalypse, they were trying to do the '90s designs, but I don't think they really quite nailed it. But yeah.
That is true.
But anyway, getting back to Beast Wars. So Beast Wars was obviously a show in the 90s done by Mainframe Entertainment, who are also famous for another CG show from the 90s. I am so happy I get to do this.
No one knows for sure, but I intend to find out.
Reboot!
Like, I'm sorry, I had to let you know. I don't know. They've been teasing that for a while. Hopefully we get that in the next Deadpool movie. But yeah, so Mainframe Entertainment, they did both Beast Wars and Reboot. And these were literally the first two CG animated shows ever on television. Like, they were treading new ground.
That is true.
Yeah, even though the animation in like Beast Wars and stuff doesn't really hold up the best, I still feel like it was, like you said, Nick, it was still like very like revolutionary in how they did things.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that like we were getting a CG animated show every week in the 90s is a huge deal.
And what also was kind of cool, what I dug about Beast Wars, one of the things is that when they transformed, it was like very slow. It was almost like the actual action figure was transforming.
Yeah. So speaking of the action figure, I got a actually let's I'll hold off on that one till we get to like the Transmetal stuff. But like, yeah, let's just kind of like, so I'm gonna kind of go around the panel and just kind of ask like, what's your experiences with Beast Wars or Transformers, and kind of just set the stage. So I'm gonna start with myself, then I'm just gonna go down the list. I stand corrected. All right, fair enough. I'm not gonna bother looking it up. If you say it, Bubba, then I believe you. So I stand corrected in that case. But hey, one of the first at least. I think we can say that much. But anyway, so Beast Wars was a show that I watched as a kid. I really liked it. I had a bunch of the toys, which I actually got a really cool story I'm going to tell here in a little bit. I think I kind of dropped off towards the later season, but like the early stuff, like the first arc, the Transmetal arc. By the time they were starting to do like Transmetal 2 and like the Fusors, I was kind of dropping out of the show. But yeah, that's kind of a very kind of like 30,000 foot. So Jared, what is your experience with Beast Wars?
Yeah, I first discovered them because I was on the Transformers website, just because they had all the shows on there, and I would just watch a couple of episodes. The first one I saw was the one where Cheetor accidentally teleports into the Predacon base. I still remember that one. But I started watching more of the show, and what's really interesting about it is I caught on shortly into the show that it was a sequel to G1, but that's where my one problem with the show shows up, because there's this one point in the show where they find the Ark, and they find the Autobots and Decepticons. But here's the thing about it. Scale-wise, the Transformers are like our height, and the Beast Wars guys are like action figure height. So I'm like,
I think that was an animation error. I'm pretty sure that was an animation error on their part, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because there's no way that would be like that.
Well, then again, who knows? Maybe they advanced so far. I'm sorry about interrupting.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's okay. You were fine. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know how technology gets smaller over the years? Well, maybe that's what happened with them.
Miniaturization happened.
They get shorter and shorter. Primal, are you shrinking? No.
No. He's a grower, not a shower.
That's true. Yeah, because Primal keeps getting larger and larger and larger. And
Brown Destroyer.
I I've never watched that.
This is my answer to that.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about Beast Wars, what I always thought was kind of funny.
No, we're doing a quick tangent. Brown Destroyer. I fucking love SWAT Cats. I love that show so much. The intro's so awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. I love you, Brown Destroyer. You're awesome. Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay,
So it's kind of funny about Beast Wars that they also had the first Transformers actual romance between Airazor and Black Canary. Not Airazor. Between Silverbolt and Black Canary. And I'm like, Black Canary. Jeez, I got DC on the mind. Silverbolt and Black Arachnia, which was weird, but also kind of cool because it inspired Black Arachnia to turn into a Maximal, which I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Black Arachnia, that was a Black Widow, right? Yeah.
She's the one that turns into the spider, and she becomes a Transmetal too. Which I'm like, oh, okay. But it's like, it's so cool because when she dies, air quotes, because no one ever dies in the show, and then Silverbolt goes out for blood. And he tears apart.
How many times does Dinobot die in the show?
So many times, or he gets like almost dead, but he dies once. Then they bring him back. I actually like Beast Machines. But anyway, he gets hurt. Then he dies once. Then they bring him back as like a like mind controlled like transmetal Dinobot. It's so weird. Mm-hmm.
Fuck off, Bond.
What? What did I do?
Fuck off, Bond.
You said good things about Beast Machines. Oh,
no.
Oh, are you talking about
No. I said, I wasn't saying anything good about Beast Machines.
Yes, talking good things about Beast Machines on my stream is blasphemy.
I never said anything good about Beast Machines, though.
Whatever. Also, yes, Brown Destroyer, he did bring up the new Adventures of Johnny Quest, which had the CG sequences. Those do need to be mentioned as far as, like, early CG and animated shows. But, Nyx, what is your experience with the Wars of the Beast?
Interestingly enough, the first time I'd ever actually heard of the show, I think it was from my older brother who said it was like Transformers, and then I ended up watching it late night on the Canadian channel YTV. But it was back then I was like really super young, so my only other like experience with the Transformers was the G1 cartoon. So I took one look at it. I was like, "This is not Transformers. The hell are you talking about?" I actually didn't get into it.
Beast.
I didn't get into it until I was much, much older, like I'd say late teens, early 20s. And I really started to appreciate because they really did try to like make a good show that could stand on its own, even without it being like connected. Like I really appreciate the writing.
Yeah, also, Bubba, you're welcome to come on. You can defend Beast Machines. It's okay to be wrong. But I welcome a good sparring match. You are a good sparring partner. So please, you have the link. You're welcome to come on.
Arguing with Nick in his own show? Wow.
Whack, huh?
Something you're very familiar with, Jared.
Someone who has control to remove people from the stream. That's always a good idea.
Yeah, like that. So, JD, what's your experience with Beast Wars?
My first experience with it was because it was on one of these local channels that was on my TV. But my first experience with Transformers was with the G2 toy line and the G1 cartoon repackaged as the G2 TV show.
Yeah.
And also the cool one weird fact about G2's, reusing of the old G1 cartoon is that they also use the movie too. The first movie. Yeah, ironic.
So you're saying that like they had the touch, they had the power.
Yeah, kind of, but they split into parts.
Yeah, you saw that a lot where they like the first X6 episodes, like G.I. Joe did this, where like first X6 episodes were like a movie, then they split up into 6 episodes. That's why like those episodes had better animation quality than episode 7. The animation quality dropped like a rock.
That is true, actually. It's because the TV show was kind of more expensive, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The funny part about those old days is that people were so pissed because in the Transformers movie they like murder everyone. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they introduced new characters in the most vindictive way possible. No,
That is
he's not.
true. That's true.
If he did, there'd be shots of a sweaty girl bending over a car.
Oh, you mean like the best shot in the first movie?
Yeah, but I kid you not. When Megan Fox read for the role, that was one of the questions Michael asked her. Do you have a nice stomach?
Well, did you know what her audition was for that movie? She had to wash Michael Bay's car.
Wow.
Oh boy.
That doesn't surprise me.
Did that actually happen?
No wonder she called Michael Bay literally Hitler. And like it tanked her career, and she had to like the thing that only got it on track was doing those stupid turtle films, which were produced by Michael Bay.
Tell me about it. Big mistake, man. Do not call the director that, or he will do that to you.
You don't crop in your bed unless you're Amber Heard.
Yeah, tell me about it. Amber Heard is just the most addictive, evil monster in the world.
Well, she's been run out of Hollywood, so ding dong.
And out of the country, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this. But let me ask you guys this. Who is your favorite Maximal or Predacon?
Maximal.
That was Primal, obviously.
Of course, you're the hero. You're the hero of this story.
Thank you.
Oh man,
I want to see more.
I got a lot of them. I liked Silverbolt. I liked Tigertron, Cheetor, Rat Trap. He was my absolute fave.
Rhinox.
I don't know about Rhinox.
This is why I absolutely freaking hate Beast Machines, is what they did to Rhinox.
I know.
Oh dear God! Yes.
I'm like, you make him a villain for no reason.
When he was literally the
I agree.
most responsible one on the show.
I agree.
At least set it up in the previous show. I'm like, no, I get that's a little too much for people nowadays. But
okay, I have a question for you. Who would you consider the star scream of the show? Would it be Waspinator or Tarantulas?
Probably.
I would say Pterosaur.
Yeah, he died.
But yeah.
Sorry.
We have a new challenger to the throne.
What have you done?
We have a filthy Beast Machines enjoyer here. Welcome to the show, Bubba.
And you have to understand, Rhinox was also my favorite, and I still like Beast Machines.
How?
Okay, so first of all, that question you asked a minute ago, anybody could say Dinobot and technically cover both bases there. Secondly, I love Rhinox. I love the whole voice of reason, kind of thing he brought to everything.
Yeah.
I did like Silverbolt a lot, but as far as my favorite Decepticon, my Predacon would have to be Scorponok. Like, holy crap! It's just something awesome. I mean, got his southern draw cowboy accent, and he turns into a scorpion robot. I mean, that's just beautiful. But anyway, no, that's the thing. If Beast Wars had been allowed to go on longer, they would have fixed a lot of problems. But it just didn't have enough traction, and there were just too many. That they were changing scheduling things and all that. I didn't like that they made Rhinox that they made him a villain, but he was a brainwashed villain. It's not like he meant to do what he was doing.
No, but here's the thing about that. Once he figured out was brainwashing, he didn't try and undo it. He just continued being a villain.
Because he still had the villain programming in his head. It's not like he can just switch it on and off.
Well, they didn't explain that. They just left that. I'm like, what the heck, dude?
Which is only a problem if you're a little kid, and I will admit that. But watching it again as an adult, it didn't bother me nearly as bad.
I recognize the writers made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I'm going to choose to ignore it.
But actually, that doesn't line up with what actually happens in the show, because remember, they have this little, I guess, like, fluid or something that they splash on robots that undoes the programming. They did it with Silverbolt. They do the same thing with Rhinox, which undoes the evil programming, and he's still evil!
Okay, but programming and brainwashing are two different things, and since they have an organic component too, I mean, it is clear to say if Megatron really wanted to like stick it to the Maximals, he's going to pick the best among them, the most righteous, the most incorruptible, and he's going to corrupt him. That's villain 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that, but the thing is that the way they did it is stupid. They could have at least explained it more, because here's the thing. Again, with the rules that they established in that season and in that show, they violated those rules.
And there are inconsistencies. I didn't say it was a perfect show. I said I liked it. That's way different. But again, if it had been allowed to go on longer, I have faith that the writers would have done a better job of explaining things.
That's true. I mean, and here's the other part. I know, Nick, but here's the other problem with it is like, okay, so I never understood. Okay, so now they're like a hybrid between like robots and animals, but why don't they bleed when they like get hit or something like that? I thought there was biological components in them now, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's
Bubba, you're up.
Okay.
Bubba, you there?
Maybe he's just looking it up.
Sorry, I'm still at work.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm just enjoying this back and forth. So it's like, please do continue. This is good content, guys. This is good content. Please continue.
Nick, you have to retitle this. You have to retitle this Beast Wars versus Beast Machines when you're done here.
I think I just might.
Or at least.
Well, that's just prime.
Is that the only Beast Wars clip you have?
Yes.
Yeah, probably the only one he can use legally, I guess.
Oh no! Well, I couldn't think of any like other really good moments.
Maximize. That's a good one.
I'll maximize these ratings. You thought I was going somewhere else with that one.
Oh yeah, I know. Judging by someone that has known your humor for over a year now, yeah, I think I kind of agree. I kind of know.
Like for example, I could have said, "I'm gonna maximize."
That's funny.
That is what you thought I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing that so going back to Beast Wars, one of the things that I always felt was kind of cool is how this dealt with like a lot of the mysteries and like this dealt straight up with aliens in this show, but beyond the alien robots, with like that one probe that shows up and merges Airazor and Tigertron into one being, which was kind of weird.
I had that.
I know.
I
agree.
And Nick, I had that one too. Is Transformers actually biological sentient robot species? Didn't even create them. They did get created, and they are, I believe, they're sentient robots.
And
by the way,
they had the spark. It wasn't until Beast Machines that they became organic.
Yeah, and by the way, so speaking of Beast Machines, I had for Beast Wars the Optimus Primal figure that came after Beast Machines, because for those that don't know, the story goes is that, so spoiler alert, in Beast Machines, I know we're talking about Beast Machines again, Optimus, air quote, dies at the end of the show, but what actually happens is that he's sent, I think, like back in time or something like that, and he's infected with a virus, and instead of being like the black gorilla, he's more of like a brown gorilla, and then that's the one that I had.
Oh yeah, so, I get it now. The Transformer Universe storyline.
Yes, that's what I had.
Actually, they were trying to combine it with the Unicron trilogy. You know.
Yeah. No,
all right, so that's a perfect segue into the toys. The Beast Wars toys were awesome.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So I got a story for you. So cast your minds back to the late 90s. Little Nick did really well in school. So I think it was like I got like a certain amount of A's on my report card or something. And as every '90s kid is rewarded back then, I got to go to the store and pick out a toy. And so, choice was between these are during the Transmetal era, a Optimal Optimus, which was like the Transmetal Optimus Prime.
That's the Transmetal 2 one, right? Like the really huge one.
No, that's the Transmetal 3 version you're thinking of. No, this is the one where he rides like the surfboard.
That's not Transmetal 2. That's one.
Yeah, Transmetal. Sorry. Yeah, Transmetal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was between the Transmetal Megatron, and I was trying to choose between that. I couldn't choose between it. As a kid, I thought this is this is the biggest choice I'll ever have to make. I eventually went with the Optimus one because he had a surfboard, and I imagined myself playing with it. I thought the surfboard would be more fun to play with. Spoiler alert, it was. And yeah, that was definitely a toy I had as a kid that I enjoyed.
Fun fact, I had a reissue of that Optimus Primal with the surfboard, but it was for Transformers Cybertron, where it came with a Cyber Planet key that like gave you like a missile launcher on the surfboard.
Yes, I think that the Beast Wars toys I had Tiger Hawk. That was a fun toy.
Yeah.
I had Transmetal 3 Optimus. My God, was that thing complicated. Your God.
Yeah. I had Optimus Primal, Silverbolt, again, and this was actually Transformers Universe, like, variations. I had Black Arachnia. I had the actual Beast Wars Cheetor and Rhinox. And I'm trying to remember what other Beast Wars figures. I think that those are the ones that I actually had that I remember.
Yeah, I like the Transmetal ones because, like, they always gave them, like different transportation options. And Brown Story, yeah, there's actually a ton of Transformers comics. Yeah, the IDW run I hear is pretty good.
Yes, but don't read the one where they try and put Transformers in actual sexual relationships, because that happened.
That's true.
Why?
Don't ask.
Ethan Van Sciver legit got into an argument with someone. They said, well, why couldn't they? And he goes, because they're robots.
Robots for everyone.
Well, I'm starting to understand why my 50-year-old boss referred to me as a 32-year-old boomer yesterday. So, yeah, I've been having some technological troubles.
Back in my day, the Transformers, they transformed. They didn't sleep with each other.
That is true.
That's right, old man. That's right, old man.
And they certainly didn't get like sex changes in them, like as their backstories.
I gotta be shocked. I gotta move political here for a moment. I am shocked that there isn't more like Transformers trans narrative. Like it's literally in the name.
Well, there is, because if you've seen a little bit of Transformers Earthspark, they have non-binary Transformers now.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, and they also IDW lost the contract because of that.
Yeah, they
true.
lost the license for Transformers because they started to have it like collapse.
I mean, honestly, if you want to get logical, all Transformers are non-binary. They literally have no gender. They're fucking robots.
Exactly.
All we do is we say he or she because they look like males or females.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get off this argument before I blow a blood vessel.
I love Nick freaking out. I love that. That is so good.
Yeah, I already had to send the guy home today for cardiac problems. So yeah, no, we're
IDW when talking to the Transformers fans, be like,
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Can I get a drop of Nick going, they're effing robots?
if someone wants to make it, I will drop it.
That was so good, Nick. That was awesome.
So, Nick, did you have any of the Beast Wars toys as a kid?
No, sadly. Most of my Transformer toys were either from Happy Meals or whatever my older brother gave up. There was no Beast Wars, no Beast Wars. Actually, funny thing about Beast Wars, in Canada, apparently, though I'd never heard it referred to this until like much later in life, but apparently it was advertised and shown as Beasties. For those of you who don't know, there was actually two names. There was Beast Wars and Beasties.
Yeah.
It was a censorship thing, allegedly.
And they somehow made it even more dirty.
Yeah, hey Nick, Transformers, furries in disguise.
Oh god.
Fuck off, bud.
Yeah.
Transformers, hairballs in your eyes.
Fuck off, bud.
Nick is slowly going mad with rage right about now.
You have no idea.
So, that's what I've heard from other people who watched the show growing up in Canada. But the funny thing is that when I saw it on YTV, it was advertised as Beast Wars. So I have no idea what.
It might have been
channels
at
were
certain
doing
stations. Might have been at different areas. Canada's got different languages and all this other junk.
Yes, but they could have also fixed that problem before it actually hit mass television too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
At least you don't
Just
live in the UK, where you have Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Because they can't say
Oh, yeah, that's
ninja?
right. That's
Yeah.
true.
Wow. But another thing that my sort of complaint I have about Beast Wars is not really like show breaking for me, but it's still something where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm buying, is the whole way that Primal comes back to life. Because so for those that don't know, they do what they always do with the Optimus Prime character. They kill him in like the season, I think, 1 finale. Because
what is my purpose? Your purpose is to die.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So the thing about it is that his spark is like in the ether, and Rhinox has to get into this giant coffin thing and then guide the spark back to its body. And I'm like, this is
yeah, Optimus has died. Optimus has died more than Goku, Superman, and Spock combined.
Yeah, in every version.
No shit.
In every Transformers version, they have to do a Death of Optimus Prime thing.
How many Transformers does it take to change the light bulb?
How many?
I don't know, but it takes 3 episodes, and Optimus dies in the end. Okay, that's a play off of an old DBZ joke. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, as many times Optimus dies, he always goes out like a boss.
You got the touch.
You got the power.
Of course.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my one thing, because there are other ways you could have brought Prime back, but you chose the most spiritually weird way. That's coincident. Oddly enough, that's my other complaint about Beast Machines, is that they went all spiritual with it, and I'm like, they're robots. I am transformed, and I'm like, the heck is going on here?
Well, that's just Prime.
Actually, they had a spiritual side in the original Marvel comics.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically.
Yeah, but I'm like, that is kind of odd. I'm like, Optimus becomes like a religious zealot, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Tell me about it.
Oh, Brown Destroyer is about to piss off a lot of anime nerds.
Oh boy. Even I won't go that far.
They're about to cry like a bunch of anime nerds at prom night.
That's like me saying I'm not a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I watched the movie and it wasn't for me. Appreciate you having me on. Let's see. Okay, but
Oh, good, Bubba. You're cool, even if you like a horror show.
I will say what was super dope is that when Optimus becomes Optimal Optimus after like absorbing the Prime spark, and they go, Prime, how do you feel? He goes, he goes, Optimus, how are you? He goes, in a word, Prime. And I'm like, yes. He even says transform and roll out, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And at least they gave like Megatron like badass forms as opposed to just a shrinking pistol. It's like, no, he turns into a T-Rex and a dragon, and then he turns into a T-Rex, a metal T-Rex that flies and has roller skates, ironically. That's pretty much what it is. It's the Breakfast Club but with Transformers. But and then he turns into a kick-ass dragon.
What the hell? Did you just equate it to fuck sorry, my mind is broken.
It was the first thing that popped into my mind that had roller skates.
Wow.
Megatron rocked and beast. Yes, he was awesome. Remember when Ravage showed up and they link it to G1 officially? But I'm I don't remember Ravage having an actual robot form.
Or
even better,
or even better, when Optimus actually met the original Prime.
Yeah, and they have a staring contest in the ship, and I'm oh.
I love how you had he merged the Spark with the original Optimus, and that's created the T3. Whereas Megatron literally just ripped it out of the original Megatron and shoved it in his chest and had to fight for it. I love the difference between the styles.
Yeah, and I love, by the way, going back to Ravage, when Ravage transformed into a cassette to attack the Maximals, you actually heard the dun 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 dun, and I'm yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the classic transformation theme.
Which, and again, I'm and honestly, here's the thing: this series also dealt with some pretty mature topics of war and stuff. And again, I love where people like to say, "Well, these cartoons are for kids," but I'm if you actually look at the content, they're dealing with some pretty adult topics.
Yeah, that's where I say, was it really though?
Yeah, I know. Is it that Thor meme? Is it though?
I need to get that as a drop. I need to.
Yes, you do. You do. But now let me ask you this, though. Here's a question. Who's a better leader, Prime or Primal?
Well, both are Prime leaders, so.
That's true.
Wait, who's faster? Optimus Prime or Amazon Prime?
By the way, who here watched on Netflix, they had the Earth War series that brought in the Maximals?
I have, and I sad to say that sucked.
I kind of enjoyed that.
Also,
it's Rat Trap.
Oh, well, for this one, this is Courage. It's time for a rat break, and Courage want to say hi. I guess you can call him Rat Trap if you want, but
rats. I had to. I can't believe it's been. I can't believe I haven't made that joke yet.
Which, by the way, that's a really good band, by the way. Well, good song by Ghost called Rats. But yeah, anyway, so what do you guys think about them being in the movie and whatnot?
I mean, at this point, it's about time, because here's my problem with a lot of the Transformers movies, because they started to rehash a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Oh, I get it. They're robots that turn into trucks and stuff, and I'm yeah. But when you bring in mechanical animals, that itself we've never seen in a live action show, and the general audience, those people that are not us and have lives, are seeing Beast Wars or anything like that, so they don't know there are robots that have turned into animals. Even my dad's wait, what?
Yeah, and then for all us '90s kids, they're oh, they're doing Beast Wars.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I saw Optimus Primal and all that, I was oh hell yes.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm probably gonna upset some people. By and large, I don't really care about Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
But I fucking love Beast Wars. Beast Wars was the shit when I was a kid. I still love it. Beast Wars is the only thing of Transformers that I actually care about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for a lot of Transformers is not for everyone. I was super. That was the first IP that I really got into. I'm still somewhat into Transformers. I'm kind of falling out of the lore, but again, Beast Wars is one of those things where it's you can't not like it. Yeah, Beast Machines you can loathe, but Beast Wars no.
So, talking about some of our favorite episodes, probably one of my favorites was the one where Dinobot finds the original Valley of Humans, and Megatron was about to destroy it, but was like, I think this is the first time where Dinobot actually died, and like he actually takes a stick and creates like an impromptu hammer, and like that, and then it's revealed that that's how the humans first created tools was because of Dinobot. Actually, I really liked that episode.
Yeah,
I actually worked too.
my favorite is any episode where you see Silverbolt, because when you look at Silverbolt, he's a classic warrior. He's very honorable, and he's dealing with a lot of the things of war. Particularly like in the first episode where he like starts off as a Predacon, and then he's like, "No, this is stupid. The Predacons don't have honor."
Yeah.
Whack, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the weird thing is that the voice actor for some of the characters was Steve McGill, who also voiced Duo Maxwell and Gundam Wing. Fun fact.
Really? So, some of my probably other favorite characters, I always loved, like, Tarantulas. Like, I do kind of consider him to be, like, the like, I feel like the Starscream personality is kind of split between Tarantulas and Waspinator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Waspinator was more of, like, the suck-up side of Starscream, while Tarantulas was more like the scheming, betraying part. What do you guys think about that?
That's true. I remember when Starscream actually showed up in the show, though.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I was like, oh, that's when it clicked to me that this is tied into G1, because I had seen the movie and I know, like, Galvatron blew you up, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it now. Also, he actually did show up in the show as a ghost.
Yeah. And then I think he like inhabited the body of, I think, Pterosaur, which makes sense.
No, it was Waspinator. It was Waspinator.
Oh, okay. And then they blew up Waspinator. I love that.
And he survived.
Because Waspinator was also kind of like a Starscream-esque kind of thing. So, like when Bubba says like Megatron had 3 Starscreams.
True.
Yeah, so I think the Starscreams were basically Waspinator, Pterosaur, and then Tarantulas. Tarantulas even sounded like Starscream a little bit.
Yeah, Tarantulas was definitely the plotting type of character. And again, I also love the entire arc, if you track, of Black Arachnia, because she starts off as like the most evil person in the world, then slowly, even before she's like reformatted into a Maximal, she's still not entirely bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, she was a reprogrammed Maximal, so.
Yeah, they all kind of were, though.
Yeah. That's true. Most of them in the later seasons. I remember that.
She was great in Beast Machines. Yeah, she was pretty. The one scene I like in Beast Machines is where she spends so much time trying to capture Thrust, because she thinks that's Silverbolt, but the realization when it's actually Waspinator.
Tell me about it.
That was hilarious. She's like, "What?"
Yeah, it's got to be weird, like, because like the body, for a Transformer, is really just more clothing than it is anything else. You know, like, yeah, it's so weird. Like, to them, you know, their machine body is what we would consider like a shirt and pants. To us,
so Nick, what you're saying is that they're more machine than man.
No doubt.
I had to do it. I had to do it. You said it so well.
Yeah. Let's see here.
He's trying to set me up with a clip to blast me. Okay, worth it. Okay.
I didn't feel like doing also.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Thank you.
So I think we've got some Beast War stuff. We're still kind of talking about it, but I don't want to open up to like other like '90s kid shows that we all kind of enjoyed. The first one off the topic I want to touch upon is Reboot. Oh, take care, Bubba. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you, buddy.
I've only, in terms of reboot, I've only watched the reboot of Reboot.
No one knows for sure, but I intend to find out.
Reboot!
Jared, why would you do that to yourself? Like, are you talking
I
about
never
the one on
watched it, so I have no idea what it's supposed to be like.
You need to watch the original Reboot. It's like the animation. It's like Beast Wars. It doesn't exactly hold up, but it's still good. I gotta say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's got a little nostalgic place in my heart, and it's kind of got like old kind of computer terms into it. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's dated, yes, and as a person going into it with fresh eyes, you might be like, I don't see what the point is. So nostalgia goggles are real, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Counterpoint, though, it does have really good writing too.
Oh, the
like
writing
they touch on a lot of mature themes.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as the series goes on. Like by the time they like hit the web, like that season where like Enzo's aged up and whatnot, it really gets good. So like, what are some other like this the '90s shows that you guys really dug that you want to talk about?
Oh, there was this one called Sherlock Holmes in the 31st.
Oh, I remember that. I watched. I caught a few episodes.
Yeah, that was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I remember that one in my local area. It always aired after, because like in my area, the starting one cartoons would end at noon, but then there'd be like for 12 and 12:30, there'd always be like syndicated cartoons that aired as like at 1 o'clock. That's when the more adult program started. So like Sherlock Holmes would always air at like 12:30. I remember that being like more of a 2000s show, though that might just because of syndication.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Also, we've got to mention Cyber 6.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that one was pretty good.
Yeah, and like you want to talk about shows that play with gender, right there. That's a show that played with gender that like did it beautifully.
Yeah, basically the only reason they did that was just a disguise. To be honest,
but still,
Yeah. It was a good disguise.
It handled the topic better than shows do today. That is a fact.
That is true. And besides, she's like an experimental program that was escaped from her Nazi creator. A literal Nazi, ironically.
Yeah.
Not one the internet calls a Nazi.
Correct. It's not what the internet calls a Nazi, but a real Nazi. Apparently he escaped the war and got to South America, where the show said.
Yeah, like that's where like a lot of Nazis actually did escape to Argentina and whatnot. Like I know Joseph Mengele went to Argentina and did a lot of experiments there. And it's rumored that like Hitler made it to South America, but I think that's pretty much been debunked.
Who knows?
The shadow knows.
Yes.
Sorry, you set me up. You set me up for that.
I know.
Oh, talking and did anyone ever watch Phantom 2049?
Yeah, I kind of watched some of it, but I don't think our entire area got it pretty well.
I remember it mostly because of the Super Nintendo game. I don't think I've ever actually seen an episode of the show, but like I remember playing the game. So like the Phantom is a character from like the 30s. He's supposedly immortal, but he just kind of passes it down from father to son kind of thing.
That's true.
And so it's like a futuristic Phantom kind of thing. But yeah. Jared, any 90s shows you want to talk about, like that we don't talk about very often?
Yeah, I was about to say when we talk about Batman, the Justice League, so many times.
Yeah, because like we can talk about like Batman, like we can talk about the DC stuff. We can talk about Batman Beyond. We can talk about Digimon. We can talk about Pokemon. We can talk about those all day long. But I want to talk about stuff that like not many people mention very often.
Oh, well, let's see. I didn't watch that many like really obscure like 3D animation shows.
What? You were a cartoon hipster back in the day?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't a Nick.
Yes, Nick and Nix.
You said that's why I call Nick at night.
Also, I have to do this. Nickelodeon.
I remember Nickelodeon.
Yeah, back when they had good shows. Remember those days?
Tell me
I
about
remember when MTV actually played music videos.
it. Tell me about it.
You know what I used to watch a lot of actually on Boomer.
No, Jared.
Yeah.
Jared. MTV hasn't played videos longer than they have played them by now.
Well,
That's true.
Anyway, Jared, what were you gonna say?
I was about to say, but what I used to watch a lot growing up is Boomerang with all the old cartoons like Super Friends. They had a Thing show apparently where like you had this thing. They had this ring that when you touched it together, it would turn you into the Thing.
Wow.
I've never heard of that.
I'm surprised they ever made that.
It was
show.
really weird.
I think I heard about it. They did make the Fantastic Four cartoon too.
They did. They did. I remember that.
Didn't they like replace Johnny Storm with like a robot for some stupid
No,
reason?
that was the second version of the show. You're
Oh.
thinking of.
Did they do that because of like cost measures? Because like the flame was too expensive to animate or something?
No, it was something stupid, or maybe it could have been the cost measures issue. I don't know.
I was gonna say, how can you have a Fantastic Four cartoon and get rid of like the Human Torch?
Yeah. I actually watched. I tried watching Johnny Quest the other day. I found some old episodes. The storyline's interesting, but like, oh my god, the animation's really bad. It's like the quality of like the image on screen goes from like really hyper detailed to like really bad. It flip flops so much that it's just so jarring. It's just like I wish it I wish it would have been like crappy animation all the way through. Because then it wouldn't like really take like Flintstones is actually a lot easier to go back to and watch than Johnny Quest. Because Flintstones, while it has a crappy animation, it's at least consistent. And honestly, the humor and the writing actually kind of hold up for the Flintstones.
That's true. But despite that, I kind of like Johnny Quest because it helped inspire the everyone's fan favorite show, The Venture Brothers.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Quest probably like inspired a lot of stuff. Let's be honest.
That's true.
You know, because that was just such a like impactful show, like such an important. It only aired for like, I think 12 episodes, like 12 or 24. Like it actually had a really short run for like what it like the impact it had.
That's true.
I think the reason they stopped doing it because like the show was literally too expensive to produce.
Probably was because of the price.
Yeah, because they were trying to go for like quality animation and whatnot. Like it's crazy. Like 1969's like also like 1969 quality animation back then. But like you do realize that Scooby Doo first aired in 1969, right?
Right.
The original Scooby Doo, I believe it was either like 1969 or 1970.
Yeah, 1969.
Oh wow, it's so crazy that like that show is that old.
I am a huge Scooby Doo nerd. I will literally just go and look up facts for the hell of it.
And if you look at fuck off, Bart. And it's like what's crazy is if you go back and watch like that original episode of Scooby Doo, it still holds up. Like honestly, it's still really good.
It does.
Oh yeah,
That's true. You can actually.
All right.
Funny thing is, you can watch it on Tubi now.
Yep.
Scooby-Doo.
So Jared's got to go, so I figured let's just kind of wrap this thing up.
Okay.
Nix, what are your final thoughts on just Beast Wars and everything else?
Beast Wars is great. Beast Machine sucks, and
Thank you.
gonna go watch some Scooby Doo.
That
On
sounds like a
Tubi.
good idea.
They also got Transformers 2 on there too.
They have every
Uh,
Transformers show on there.
Yeah, that's
JD,
true.
what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts? Okay. Oh, crap. What was it? Oh, geez. I'm trying to do an impression. Okay. That's just Prime.
There you go.
All right, Jared, what are your final thoughts?
Beast Wars is awesome. Beast Machines is a crime against the Transformers fandom, and it should never have been made. It's one of my favorite eras of Transformers of all.
All right, and thank you everyone for stopping by. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones who walk through it.